And if you're new here, hi, I'm Brooke. I like to talk about manifesting and specifically the law of assumption, right? That's really what I talk about as reality creation and how we are the authors of our story, because the life that we live is really just a story that we're telling ourselves. Something came up with a client the other day, and I was like, this is a good lesson to teach in my life. So I wanted to talk about this specifically today. And she was saying that she's a positive thinker. And I think that's amazing, right? Being positive is awesome. But when it comes to reality creation, positive thinking is not enough, right? It's definitely a component, that's for sure. But you can think positively. So let's just say, you're manifesting a car and you want to pay a certain price, you want a certain model, a certain year, and you have a certain budget. You want to pay $200 a month, let's just say. And so you're out shopping for cars and different things like that. And the only thing that you can afford is something 10 years older than what you actually want. And it's not the model, it's not the color, and the price is $300. You could have positive thinking and just say, well, at least it's a car, right? It's four wheels, it's gonna get me there, and that's absolutely fine, right? That's a good way to approach it. But when we talk about creating your reality, it's about being intentional with your thoughts, right? Making sure that you're telling the story and living in the end of what you want, because all possibilities exist. And sometimes when you're just thinking positively, you can inadvertently settle, right? You can acquiesce and settle in situations that aren't ideal, right? That aren't what you want, and they're not really what you desire. So while yes, positive thinking is good, and I always say to give things good meaning, still keep your focus on your actual end, right? Your wish fulfilled. What is it that you actually are manifesting, what you want specifically? And so it's really important as you start to create your reality to be intentional with the thoughts that are aligning with your end, right? Because you want your end to be the car that you want, the make, the model, the color, the price. Because otherwise you're just settling. You're not happy with it. Maybe you're overpaying, right? And you're being stretched too thin month to month because you can't afford it. And you just settled. You got complacent. So yes, still be positive, still give things good meaning along the way, right? Because sometimes you can be on your manifestation journey and something bad happens, right? Remember, nothing is really good or bad. We are giving things meaning. But let's just say, something unfavorable happens. You could just give it good meaning and just say, well, this is just a part or a bridge of incidents or things that have to happen in order for me to get to my end, right? Don't get complacent and just say, okay, well, I'll just settle for this, right? No, we're not doing that, because as the creator, we get to have whatever it is that we want. We get to have it exactly as we want. We don't have to settle. We get to have the exact thing that we want. So it's really, really important to not just, assume positive, right? And just to have positive thinking, but to be really intentional and really specific with our thoughts. So that way we can get whatever it is that we desire. So I wanted to come on here and just talk about that really quick. If you're new here, hi, my name is Brooke, and I usually give a lesson at the top, and then I answer questions. So I will answer each and every person's question. Sometimes it takes me a second to get to your question, but I will answer it. Let's see. Thank you guys so much for sharing the live. And again, apologies for my voice because I'm a little bit under the weather and I have in my retainers. So Nia said, being intentional with your words. Exactly. It's like, who are you being? Are you being the version of you that's like, okay, I'll just settle for less and just take whatever I can get? Or are you being intentional with your words and the way that you're acting and the way that you're speaking and the way that you're moving through life, right? Are you embodying the version of you that has your desire? Because that's what you should be thinking from, right? Thinking from the end of, I have my dream car. It's the exact price I wanted to pay for it. Whatever it is that your desire is. Maybe it's a specific person. Maybe it's wealth and abundance, right? So really cluing into what exactly it is that you want, and then being intentional with your thinking, with your words, with your actions, all of those things. So yeah, we are talking about manifestation and not being complacent in our manifestations, and really just being specific on what it is that we want. I specifically teach the law of assumption. And so that's, what are you assuming to be true about yourself, right? And that comes down to self-concept work. So specifically, what is it that you are assuming to be true of yourself? And that goes in relation to people, places, and things around you, right? Because we're constantly creating. Every single thought that we have is a creation. It's a manifestation. So if you see something you don't like, know that it came from you, but you have the power to change it, right? You just weren't being intentional with your thoughts. Maybe you were giving your attention and energy into things that you don't want. A lot of times we focus on what we don't want. I don't want to lose this house. I don't want to go to this job anymore, right? So a lot of the times people focus on what they don't want, and then they inadvertently manifest more of it because that's where their focus is. So it's really about being intentional with your creation, because remember, our thoughts become things. Nia said your example of the car that was 10 years older. Yeah, so I was just saying, like, at the top of this lesson, I was saying it's not enough to manifest and just think positive. You might just come across a situation where you're trying to manifest a car and you want it for a specific price, a certain year, a certain color. And you come across this deal and it's a car that's 10 years older and it's not the color you want, it's not the make, it's not the model, but you just settle for it because you're like, oh, I'll just think positive and just say, this is fine. It's kind of sort of within my budget. Maybe I can make it work, right? So it's not just about positive thinking. Positive thinking is great, but it's about intentional thinking. You need to live in the end of your desire and not just settle because all possibilities exist. So it's really important to not just have positive thinking when it comes to manifestation, but to have intentional thinking. So that's what I was saying. I hope that answers your question. I mean, there's nothing wrong with, if you want to settle for the 10-year car, that's fine. I just know that as a creator, I wouldn't do that because I know that all possibilities exist. So why would I doubt my manifestation and creation capabilities, right? I wouldn't. How do I stay positive even when things aren't going as planned? Yeah, so I always say give things good meaning, right? So this is where thinking positively is good because you're still tracking towards your manifestation. You're not just saying, okay, this is the new end. I found the car and it's done and it is what it is. And I just have stopped, right? I've given up and I've just said, this is what I get. So in that story, you could still assume positive, take the car, and then work towards the car that you want. So I always say, give things good meaning. Whenever something unfavorable happens in my 3D, I do one of two things, right? If it's really big and it's like something that I find to be like super unfavorable, right? Something that I really, really don't want. What I do is I just say that's old thinking playing out, right? That's the old story. And I just say it's not real, right? 3D is an illusion. So I just don't give it my attention. I just consider it old thinking playing out. So that's how I stay positive. Or you could say, well, I'm going to give this good meaning because I know that this is something that had to happen. Maybe you had to lose your job in order to start your own business or to get a new job or whatever it is. So that could be the bridge of incidents, which Neville Goddard talks about, which is things that had to happen along the way in order for your manifestation to materialize in your 3D world, right? In your physical space and time. So that's what I usually do. One of those two things. I either say it's old thinking or I just say, this had to happen. It's fine. I'm still getting my manifestation. This doesn't mean I have to stop manifesting the thing that I want and I'm just going to give up and just say, it is what it is and maybe it's not meant for me. No, anything that you desire is meant for you because you thought it. If you can imagine it, it's yours. It's done. Creation is finished the moment you decide. It's just people get so thrown off by their 3D, right? They give the 3D a lot of meaning and they treat it as fact when we know that creation is done in your imagination. So you have to really kind of live in your imagination, live in the 4D, right? In your head, in the scene that you're painting, and just trust and know that your desire is yours no matter what the 3D is showing you, because the 3D is just typically old thinking, right? It's a reflection of yesterday's thoughts because everything is reflecting us. So you just have to stay in the wish fulfilled, and that's your desire, and then it will materialize and manifest. So that's how I stay positive. Nia said you have to follow through and have actionable steps. Yeah, really all you have to do is decide. I think you'll naturally take action just based off of living in the assumption of the wish fulfilled. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you. That's so cute. You'll naturally take actions, but you don't have to effort your manifestation, right? A lot of the times people are trying to effort their manifestation. I just did a post on this the other day, and really when you're efforting your manifestation, you're trying to force it. You're kind of saying, I don't have this, so I think I have to go do this, this, and this in order to get it. But you can take inspired action, right? If you're assuming that, I'm going to be an entrepreneur and I'm going to own a business and, I want to do client work, you start to embody that version of you that is successful, that has people lined up. They want your products, they want your services. And naturally you would get an LLC, right? You would take some natural steps, but you're not trying to force it by saying, I need to post 15 times a day and I have to canvas people and I really need to sell them and I need to go out and ask Mary, Bob, and Joe if they have clients. That's kind of forcing it. When you're just taking natural steps and you get an intuitive download. Like the other day, I just woke up and I was like, I offer 90-minute coaching calls. Why don't I offer 30 minutes? Because people might want a quick check-in just to see where they are, right? They might have already a good knowledge base of how to manifest. And maybe they just want to check in. That was just a thought. I didn't really think much more of it. I got on live, mentioned it, and I sold 3 in just one live. And I've had so many more since then. But it was like, I didn't even have a sales page yet. I just mentioned it in a live and said, hey, I'm thinking about offering 30-minute calls. Would you guys be interested? And then I got 3 DMs and I had to hurry up and make a sales page. And, all 3 people bought it from just one live. And like I said, multiple people have bought it since then. But I wasn't sitting down trying to force some business strategy and trying to figure out numbers. You can do those things, but it doesn't have to be that way, right? Manifestation can be effortless, and it's just embodying the state of just having your wish fulfilled. Stay said you have to watch or mean what you say. Yeah, it's about being mindful of your thoughts, right? When it comes to manifesting, you have to have a strict mental diet, right? That's what I always say is you have to be mindful of the story that you're telling yourself, because if you're still telling the story of I'm never chosen, things don't work out for me, nobody wants to buy from me, I'm never included, those are all the old story playing out, right? So it's really important to be mindful and say, no, I know that I'm always chosen. I know that I'm always loved. I know that I'm always adored. I know that people want to buy from me. I know that people find me inspiring, and I know that I'm always included. So it's really about having the mental discipline to stay in the new story, right? And not to go back to the old story. And we can go back to the old story. It happens. It's inevitable. But it's about not staying there. You have to really stay in the end of the wish fulfilled. Nia said, have you listened to Neville Goddard? He speaks a lot about mindsets. Yeah, that's what I teach is law of assumption, which is Neville Goddard. So everything I teach about is a Neville Goddard principle. Greta said, thank you. My goal is to become a certified interpreter medical. It's already done, right? I wouldn't even say my goal. Just say I am, right? The power of the I am statements, and just say I am. an interpreter in the medical field, right? I'm certified. I got certified. It was easy for me. It was effortless. I passed the test with flying colors. People look to me as, a leader in my field. They say I do an amazing job and that I'm so relatable. So just start claiming the version of you that already is certified, that already reached the goal, right? And that's how I would approach that. But you've got this. You can absolutely do it. It's already done. Divine said, yes, I tell people the only thing to really do is claim it. Truly claim it. Yeah, just claim it. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, Divine. That's all you have to do is claim it. Oh, thank you so much for the gift. I appreciate it. All you have to do is claim your desire. That's really it. You can affirm in the morning. You can affirm throughout the day if you want, right? Some people like to robotic affirm, whatever feels good for you, but it's just about claiming it. That's it. People think that you have to do a lot of action, and in reality, you don't. I mean, if you believe you have to do a lot of action, then that will be true, right? Because it's the story that we're telling ourselves. If you say, I'm going to have to work hard, study hard, and put in a lot of hours and put in a lot of work, then that'll be true for you. But what you start to repeat, or what Divine is saying, what you start to claim becomes your dominant thoughts. That's why we say claim it, right? Claim it before you see it in the 3D, because the more you claim it, the more it becomes a belief. You'll start to believe it. It'll become your natural default, your automatic thinking. And then your manifestation will be materialized in your 3D. But it's important to claim and know that you already have it. Don't look for it. Just know it's already done. Action like planning. Yeah, I mean, you can have a plan, right? Here's the thing. There's no wrong way to do it. It's just about, well, there is, and that's saying that you don't have it. But you don't have to force it, right? Sometimes people tell themselves a story of, like I said, you have to work hard in order to get it. Good things only come to those who wait. Those sorts of things that were taught growing up. And it's like, no, you can tell a different story. Nia said intuitive downloads are awesome. They really are. Like I said, I had the one about the 30-minute coaching and the fact that I sold 3 and I didn't even have a sales page. It's like, just follow your intuition. I've always had the most success and the most ease when I just listened to that little nudge. That's it, right? I didn't force things. And you'll find that when you're manifesting, right? Let's just say you are trying to manifest a cup of coffee. People always say that's so easy because you're not invested in the cup of coffee. You don't have this big attachment to, I have to have it. So manifest with ease, because it will materialize so much faster and it'll be so much easier. Tree said, love Neville. I love Neville. He's the best. He was the best. Garita said, oh my God, I signed my email today to the CERT people as medical interpreter. Yes, exactly. Claim that. I love it. So stay in that story. It's already done. That's exactly right. You've got it. Beautiful. Yes, embody that. I love that. She said, oh my God, I signed the email today saying that she's certified. So amazing. I love that. Jess, hi, how are you? Garita said, and now I have my man of 2 years. Yeah, claim it. And with that, even you can go to the end of what do you want, right? Do you want marriage? Do you want commitment? Do you want a family? You can go all the way to the end even with that too, and just say, like, I'm happily married with 2 kids. And remember, we're doing all of this in our imagination. We're not doing anything in the 3D. Yes, I said you can take inspired action, but you don't have to go out and tell your specific person, like, hey, I want you to be with me and I need for you to show up for me in this way. You don't have to do that. So you can just do it in your imagination and they will reflect that back to you. It's really important that you really work on your self-concept, right? Because everything comes back to you. It's, I'm amazing. That's why I got certified. I'm so smart. That's why I got certified. It was easy for me because this came naturally to me. So it's really about bringing everything back to you and then your world will reflect your beliefs about those people, places, things, and circumstances in your life. Corinthians said, I missed you so much, sister. I missed you too. I was saying I had some personal things to take care of, and then I got sick at the very end, and today I wasn't even going to come on because I was like, ugh, I'm so congested. But then I said, you know what? I miss being on here, and I haven't seen anybody, so I decided to come on, and I'm happy that I did. I have in my retainer, and like you can hear, I'm a little bit congested, but yeah, I did post some YouTube videos, so if you do want to follow me on YouTube, I do put these over there on the YouTube channel. But while I was off, I did manage to get up, I think, 3 videos because I had been behind, so I'll work on that a little bit more today. What's the subject? We're talking about law of assumption and reality creation. Tony said, I'm claiming my business flourishes. Yes, it's already done. Whatever that looks like for you, your business is flourishing. You're a dominator in your industry. You are a mogul. People look to you as an innovator. People are lined up for your products and services. You're hitting your monthly targets. You're exceeding them most of the time, right? So just start to embody that. Yes, I love that. Keep claiming it. That's amazing. Chase and Sunsets, thank you so much for also working the chat. I appreciate you. Corinthians said, manifesting in the current that we live, love, and laugh in the Maldives. Hey, that sounds beautiful. I love it. Maldives has been on my list. So, yeah. I actually have not been focusing on manifesting travel recently. Maybe I should do that. Probably because I just recently moved and I feel like I'm living in my dream location and every day feels like a vacation. So I've been loving life. I mean, my life is so easy. Once you start to really understand that your thoughts create things, your life is going to feel like you're on vacation permanently, right? I don't feel stressed. I know that I'm the source of my supply, right? I know that my thoughts are constantly creating things. And when you can really start to embody that and believe it, life is so easy. It's so effortless. It's so fun. Like, it's the absolute best. Yes, Garita, I love this. All of your claims. Yes, keep claiming all of these things. Devante said, how do you manifest? So our thoughts, you've always been manifesting. So it's not something new that you just start doing. You've always been doing it. So your thoughts create your reality. Think about everything in your life, your job, your house. All of those are manifestations. They're all thoughts that you had that have now materialized into your world. So when we say manifesting, we're talking about being more skilled. We're talking about being more intentional with our thoughts, right? Maybe you have an unfavorable circumstance in your life right now where you're not happy in love, or maybe a friendship is toxic, or maybe you don't like your job or your work environment. That's a manifestation. Even though you don't like it, you're thinking negatively about the person, place, or thing. So it's really about being intentional in what you do want and focusing your thoughts on that. And that all comes down to your self-concept. Are you telling a story that you're never chosen, that you're always last, that you don't get the promotion, that you're always overlooked, right? And then really taking it and saying the opposite, what you do want, you're always chosen. You're always put forward for the promotion. You're always getting awards at work. You're always appreciated. So it's really about what story are you telling yourself, because that's what's manifesting into your life. So tell a good story. Be the hero in your story. Don't be the loser in your story. Don't be the villain in your story. Be the hero. Be the main character. And know that your thoughts are creating things. Thank you so much for sharing the live. Devante said, so you got to write them down. No, you don't have to. You just have to think it. It's what are your thoughts, right? You can say affirmations. You can write it down. I like to write things down. When I first started manifesting, I feel like I wrote things down more. But now it's just a practice. It's just a skill. I'm just mindful of my thoughts, right? As I go throughout my day, I'm conscious of my thoughts. When I got sick, I immediately was like, oh God, I'm feeling sick. I'm feeling congested. And I kept saying it. And I was like, Brooke, why are you saying this? Because you're just creating more of that. So then yesterday I was like, no, we're changing this story. And I was like, I feel so good. I feel so healthy. I feel like I have vitality. And last night I slept like a baby and I was able to breathe and my nose was like clear. And I just keep affirming it. And I have not been sick for long. And I know that I'm healthy. I don't even like saying that I've been sick for long because then that's me affirming it. But I've been affirming that I'm healthy. I haven't taken medicine at all. And today I feel marginally better. So it's just about, what are you thinking? What are you dominantly assuming? It's every single thought that you're having, whether if it's what you're saying about having a cold to what you're saying about your job and how you're compensated and how you're paid and what your bank account looks like. Everything you think is a manifestation. Garita said, I would also like to manifest a milli, but not a bill. Yeah. So just focus on what you do want, right? So take the end of that sentence, scrap it, because you're not going to focus on a bill. Bills don't exist. Like, I don't even know what BILL is, right? So literally just manifest on, I already have $1 million. Manifesting money is easy. Manifesting money to me is one of the most easy things, right? It's easy for me to manifest money. So just start claiming money comes to me. I get paid to exist. It comes to me easily and effortlessly. Money loves me. Money comes to me always and always. Every dollar that I spend comes back to me tenfold, 100-fold. Whatever it is, right? Start telling the story of how you are abundant. Start saying, I am rich. I'm abundant. I have more than enough. I'm always provided for. Right? I'm the source of my supply. Money is always finding me. I'm a money magnet. So definitely start saying affirmations like that. Devontae said, so it's your thoughts. Exactly. It's, what are you dominantly assuming? What story are you telling? Oh, Garita said, I really did manifest him though. I love it. Yes. See, amazing. You know how to do this, so keep doing that, right? Keep proving it to yourself. Every single time you manifest something, that's proof for you to know your power. So definitely lean on those instances, especially when you're doubting your manifestation, right? Say, I've created all these other things. I know how to do this. Let me just lock in. Corinthian said, I was in the Navy and a pharmacist. I've done and did before 25. Now let's enjoy the Maldives. Exactly. Say, I'm in the Maldives. I'm having a beautiful time. The water is so clear. It's warm. The sun is shining down. The food is amazing, right? I love to, when I'm visualizing, engage all of my 5 senses. So go into telling the story of, okay, what do you see, right? You see crystal clear blue water. Maybe you're in an overwater bungalow, the warm sheets as you wake up to the sunshine beaming on your face. You step outside and you feel the warmth, right? You can feel the sand in between your toes. You smell the salt in the air. You can hear the waves crashing or whatever it is. So start to engage all your 5 senses. Have fun with it. I love doing that. No, I believe you, Garita. You have the power. Jason said all of the above. Exactly. Corinthian said, you can have my military discounts because I'd love to travel with a woke sister. Look, everybody's living in their own personal reality, right? So you can manifest anything, anyone, whatever you desire. KT said, are you big on anchoring? Oh, what do you mean by anchoring? Yes, Devontae, it's whatever you are thinking. So when you catch yourself thinking something that you don't want, you just think the opposite. What do you want? Put your attention on what it is that you want. Because if you're thinking about what you don't want, you'll just get more of it. So it's so important to focus on, what do you want? What do you desire? So you don't need to worry about the how, you just need to live in the end. The details will all work themselves out. When you're thinking of your desire, right, of what you want to manifest. It's like planting a seed. That's why we say go to the end. If you're planting a peach tree, you're just planting the seed. The roots, the tree trunk, the branches, the peaches, the leaves, all of those things are built into the seed. You're not worrying about any of that, right? You just plant the seed and know a peach tree is going to bloom at the end of it. That's the end. You're not worried about, oh, are the roots going to form? And then what about the trunk and the branches and the fruit? No, you just plant the seed knowing that the end is the tree with the peaches. So don't worry about the how. Don't worry about the other elements. Just focus on the end. Plant that seed and the rest will unfold to produce that end result. You said, it's been working, girl. I feel like he loves me. LOL. Such delusion. It's not delusion, though, but that's beautiful. That's exactly where you need to be because you love you. Why wouldn't he love you? You're a masterpiece. You're irresistible. Start saying, duh. Duh, he loves me. Of course he loves me. I'm the best and only option. I'm the only choice. He finds all other women unattractive. He only wants me and only me. I'm a masterpiece. I'm one of one. I'm one of a kind. There's no one like me. I'm beautiful. I'm everything that he wants. I make him feel seen. I make him feel heard. I heal him, right? He thinks I'm a goddess. He treats me like a princess. I always get what I want. I'm so loved. I'm so adored. I'm chosen. I'm a priority. I love it. Beautiful. Corinthians said, I manifested lifetime stability and I did exactly how she said it. It happened. I swear. Yeah, amazing. 100% military disability. Exactly. Claim it. Just go to the end. So that's a manifestation. Beautiful. You know how to do this. Let's see. Chasing Sunset said I do that now every morning. Yeah, beautiful. I do, I love that you do that. How are you feeling now that you're doing the Isn't It Wonderful Rampage? I feel so amazing. Sometimes I have to like stop myself because I keep going in the Isn't It Wonderful affirmations, but it feels so good. It's awesome. Hi, Pri. How are you? But it's good to build yourself up, right? It's good to speak life into yourself because you are the creator, and what you think of yourself is how the world responds. So definitely do your affirmations. I know that at first, when I first started doing them, it felt incredibly cheesy, and I was like, I don't know if I like this. And then I was like, no, like it feels good to do it. It feels good to finally, just see myself in my divine true light as the creator. Valentina said, what if negativity always wins? Valentina, you're a master manifester. So first of all, know that you're the creator. So if negativity is always winning, it's because that's what you're creating. That's what you're focused on. So I want you to stop telling that story immediately because all possibilities exist and no facts are final. What does that mean? Nothing is final until you say so. So if something negative comes up, you say, so what? I know I have my manifestation. It's a guarantee because if I think it, I know I have it. And I know that I always win. And as the creator, I win, right? Think of God. God always wins. You have that same power within you. So no, you're not going to invest in the story of negativity winning. That's you doubting your creation. So don't doubt it. You have the power within you, right? Because you're creating the negative thing. You're actually manifesting with 100% accuracy and precision when you see something negative. That's a true manifestation, right? That's what you're thinking. So you're doing it right. You're manifesting the thing you don't want very successfully. So now you're going to take that and say, okay, I understand that I've been asleep at the wheel when it comes to my thinking. I'm going to stay on top of my thinking. I'm going to give myself grace when, something negative comes up and just say, okay, Something negative came up. So what? I don't have to give that my attention. I don't have to identify with that. And I certainly don't have to accept it as the final. So you're just going to look at it and say, that's just a thought, but that's not me, right? That's not me. That's not me. So you decide who wins. You're the winner. You're the creator. So right now you have a story of negativity always wins. Flip it and say, positivity always is the outcome. Whatever I want, I get. I always get what I want. What I want is what manifests in my life, period. Everything that I want wants me more. That's what you're going to start saying until it hardens into fact. You're going to keep persisting in that thinking. No matter what the 3D shows you, you're going to keep saying that story until it's true. I don't know what your specific situation is, but start to tell the opposite of what you're thinking, right? Start telling the story of what it is that you do want. Chasen said, I feel so good. I even do it when things don't go right, like in the moment, to turn around. I love that. Beautiful. And that's a great technique. And the thing is, we're talking about the Isn't It Wonderful rampages in the morning. When you start doing the Isn't It Wonderful rampages, you're going to find you don't even think about your desire. You don't even care because you truly feel like you already have it. You're not even looking for it to the point where you don't even care if it manifests right in the 3D because you're like, I just know that I'm fucking awesome as I am, right? I'm amazing and I feel so good and I just love myself and it doesn't even matter. And you already feel like you have it. It really, I highly recommend if you're not manifesting to really try it. And I'm really sorry if you can hear the background noise. It'll pass. I don't know what that is. Corinthians said, everyone doesn't have the mindset that you have, and you are the prettiest goat I've ever seen. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Valentina said, so true. Valentina, you've got this. Lock in. Seriously, try it for 72 hours. Say, I'm going to lock in. When the old story comes up, I'm not going to give it my attention. I'm just going to say, okay, so what? Don't go down that rabbit hole and then just shift your energy into what you do want. That's not suppressing emotions, by the way, right? If there's something, guys, that comes up and you feel like as a human, right? We're humans. We have feelings that you need to feel. Those feelings, feel them, but don't stay there and really be honest with yourself. Because sometimes I find that clients of mine are so in love with their trauma and it's like, well, I need to feel my feelings. And it's like, okay, but that happened 3 years ago. You felt them. At a certain point, you have to be real with yourself and say, I felt them. Oh, thank you so much for the gift. I appreciate it. That was so cute. You have to say, okay, I did feel them. And now I'm just living in that story and replaying it over and over again. And it's not serving me anymore, right? So it's not to say, don't feel your feelings. Absolutely feel them, but don't stay there. Because your personality, right? The version of you that's not chosen, the version of you that's not prioritized, the version of you that doesn't get what you want, the version of you where negativity always wins. Your personality becomes your personal reality, right? So then you'll start to see those things in your world. So stop identifying with those traumas. At a certain point, you have to say, okay, I felt it. I know that I have had emotions around it, and maybe I still do. But the only way to move them is to move into the new story. That's it. Chasen said, at night I say something good is going to happen to me tomorrow. I learned that from you. Amazing. I love that. Yes. I always say something wonderful is going to happen to me tomorrow, and it always does. Valentina said, okay, I'll start tonight. Amazing. You've got this. Chasen said, I watched your live for 100 minutes. Oh, I love it. Yay. So exciting. Bubby, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for sharing the live. John Mike, hi, how are you? Oh yeah, John Mike followed me on Instagram. If you guys want to follow me on IG, that would be wonderful, just because you never know about the future of this app. I don't know what that's going to look like, but I would love to stay connected with all of you. It's the same handle on IG, and you can click the link in my bio, and it has my IG link. Yes, Valentina, you are the author, but you're also the director, you're the producer, and you're the actress. You're the main character. So literally kind of treat it like a film scene. If I were in a scene right now and this is the movie of my life, how would I want it to play out? The actress would start to embody the version of her that's skipping down the road, headed into a cafe where everybody's smiling, saying, "Hey, do you want the usual today?" And you'd be like, "Yes." And they'd be like, "It's on the house for free." And you'd be like, "Okay." Like, really start to get into that and like embody the version of you, whatever story that you want to tell, because you wouldn't want to direct and live in the scene of the heartache and heartbreak and the tough times and the trials and the tribulations, right? Make it fun. Act out the scene that you want to play out, because it will. It will. I can't tell you the number of clients that have tried that and things shifted instantly. They just started viewing their day through the lens of, I'm acting out a scene right now. And things started to shift. Oh, it's okay. Prez, sorry about that. Trust that something wonderful is going to happen to me. Exactly. I say that every night. I say something wonderful is going to happen to me tomorrow, and then when I wake up in the morning, I say something wonderful is going to happen to me today. And I affirm it. And like I said, I can't tell you the amount of free things I get all of the time. It's insane. I mean, it's not insane because I affirm it, but it still is just like, wow, like this really works. Like one of my blanket affirmations is I always get things for free, and I do multiple times a week. All right. Well, I'll go ahead and close out the live. Thank you guys so much for joining. If you want to work with me, check the link in my bio. If you want to watch this back on YouTube, the link will also be in my bio. I post these so you can watch them from the beginning. And then follow me on IG, just so we can all stay in touch, just because you never know about the future of this app. Noah said I'll try to catch up on your lives more often. A lot to catch up on, totally. You can also send me a DM too, Noah. But yeah, a lot of change. Thank you so much, Joseph. Thank you, Corinthian. All right. I will see you all later. Take care and have an amazing day. And remember that your thoughts are creating things, and things are always working out for you. You are the creator of your reality, and something wonderful is going to happen to you tomorrow. So take care, and I will see you. Bye.